everyone, it's Christian from the Calcio Bros, and we've had an incredible 2 weeks of Calcio right now. We finished off with rounds 1 and 2, some great results to see for sure, and lots more to come. Some teams open up very um, with ambition, through excitement, like some incredible results that they managed to pull off. Other teams very disappointing, not the ways they want to start off the season right. We did have one issue there with one of the teams, which we'll also talk about as well. And there are lots of teams who pretty much are continuing the way they ended off last year as well. So that's another talking point as well. Some of these teams are looking strong and looking like they really mean business. Others probably still have to work on their team a bit, try to get themselves together. We're going to get right into that as well. We're also going to talk about the Champions League group that was just drawn earlier today, talk about what we could see in the UEFA Champions League and some potential, not potential, but what we think or where we think some of these teams might end up and how they could finish in their group. And also, if you haven't already, seen it. Milan finished their last Europa League qualifying round against Rio Ave, where they won in an insane shootout. Like I'm still trying to calm down after that because that was absolutely incredible. But I don't even know. Like it went 24 rounds, which we'll get into that more as well. But let's get back into Serie A. So as I said, we finished off with rounds 1 and 2. Some of the games from round 1 were played at a later date because some of those teams finished last season a bit later, so they got the extra time just to rest, and they got right into that. So I'm gonna start how where everything started from round 1, and also talk about those later games altogether, even though they were played at a later date. So uh, to open up Serie A, we had Fiorentina Torino, who opened up Serie A, like I said. Sirigu holding the Granata up tight, but they just fell short as Castrovilli found the winner for them. And it was a good opening game for Fiorentina under Iachini, who wanted to get off to a good start. Torino, again, will look to do better if they hope to. Again, they were almost relegated last season, so they would hope to do better this year. They still have lots to grow, and anything can happen because there's also a few days left in the Calcio Mercato. So expect some teams to be a little bit busy getting those last minute additions or getting rid of some other dead weight that they don't no longer need on their team as well. So moving on, we had later that day on the 19th was Verona Roma, which technically finished in a 0-0 draw, but because Roma technically fielded an eligible player in Amadou Diawara, and how that happened was Roma had registered Diawara as a U22 player, but he had turned 23 and they had not realized that. So he wasn't registered properly, which means once he stepped onto the field, he was declared ineligible, and Verona were awarded the 3-0 victory here. Not the way Roma want to start off the season. Verona, who also had just lost Kumbula there, moved to Verona, already coming back to the Bentegodi to play his former side, and not how he wanted to, I guess, get a result out of there. Maybe this is also what happens when a Romanista picks Verona to get relegated. If you haven't heard our relegation predictions there, be sure to check out the previous video where Luca had said Verona would be one of the 3 teams being relegated. So maybe this is their way of getting back at him. But anyways, Fonseca's men now have to go forward and see what they can do to recover themselves after. Uh, I don't even know how to explain. Just basically an unneeded result. We'll say they would have taken the draw, but this just isn't not what they wanted. Moving on to September 20th, 6:30, we had Parma Napoli. Napoli wanted to be sure to get onto winning ways here. They didn't play the first half as much as like the way they wanted to play, but as soon as Osimhen came onto the field, he completely changed the game for them, creating opportunities, almost scoring goals, helping out his teammates. They looked much better once he came on, and it really helped grab the victory as Mertens and Insigne got the goals to secure the victory here. 9 a.m. There's only one game as well, which was Genoa Crotone. Genoa getting a huge win over here. Crotone, whose first season back in Serie A after a few years, would have liked to start off better, but Genoa got off to the right start. We had Mattia Destro score his first goal since May of last year of 2019. So that goal did mean a lot to him as well. Zappacosta getting his debut goal as well, helping the Grifone onto an important opening day victory. 12 p.m. We had one game as well, Sassuolo Cagliari. This is a very even affair here. I would say it was definitely a very interesting game, very entertaining. Cagliari almost came back from the win, but Sassuolo managed to equalize on a late free kick to save themselves, or to share the point between the two sides, and to at least not open up their season at home in defeat. 2:45 on the 20th, we had Juventus Sampdoria, and this was Pirlo's first official game in charge, and they got the job done here. Kulusevski scoring a great goal on his debut for the Bianconeri, and Ronaldo and Bonucci also add to the spoils. I know a lot of people are saying this was excellent, great. They were excellent through and through the game. To me, Juve played good, but they're also playing a Sam side who hasn't looked that strong in the last couple years. So sure, I did expect Juve to get the win here, but saying like all these things, I don't know. To me, it just I saw Juve winning it. Sampdoria didn't really do much throughout the game to really give Juventus any problems. So there's still a lot of work to be done, I feel, with Juventus. We'll talk also about more in their second game what we saw as well, and it's the Samp also has a lot of work to be done as well, as that is a heavy defeat on on their first game back. But this is also the first couple games are where teams sort of see how they see themselves, figure their formations, what's working, what tactics are that they need to change. So these are important results now, so they can really go forward for the rest of the season if they want to survive as well. Now, ending off the regular scheduled or the earlier games, this was on the Monday. We had Milan Bologna. Milan took all 3 points here thanks to two goals for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And unfortunately, after this game, just shortly before their last Europa League game against Bodo Glimt, Ibra had tested positive for COVID-19, so he is right now in self isolation. Um, in his quarantine, so he will also miss. He missed Milan's second game against Crotone, and will be missing. Has missed their game against Rio Ave, Bodo Glimt, of course, and he will most likely miss the game against Spezia, but will be back against uh, Inter after the international break. So again, big win here for the Rossoneri. They did play well, but then tempo seemed to die down a bit. They continue their run as considering they're the only team unbeaten during the post lockout run. So this was good that they got their momentum and their season up and running after previously losing out on their last two season openers here. Now for the rescheduled games that started later on, it was just played September 30th. Two games were at 12 o'clock. We had Udinese Spezia. Spezia grabbing their first win ever in Serie A. Kudos to them. Galabinov securing the result for them and scoring both goals here. Udinese now in both games they've played, 1 and 2, which again we'll talk about later, have not been able to score. So not a good result for them. The other 12 o'clock game was Benevento Inter, where Benevento lost at home 5-2. Inter completely dominant. Hakimi linking up well with Lukaku. And Inter do look strong. They have gotten the players they needed. So Conte should not complain about his bench, saying there's a lack of depth. They've brought in players. I know now they're actually looking at getting more because not Vidal, Nangolan wants to leave as he wants to remain in Cagliari because of his wife. But they brought in players like, um, oh my God, they brought in the Vidal. They brought in Hakimi. Like already, that's two world class players there. They managed to keep Sanchez. Um, they brought in experience in Kolarov as well. So that experience will definitely help them. I know they're looking at getting Matteo Darmian as well. So I think Conte is leaning more towards the experience, not as much as the youth, as again they did lose out to Tonali because Conte. Well, again they Inter didn't also need to sell people as well, but Conte leaning more for the experience to help because there's only so much you can rely on youngsters for. But getting the result against Benevento was big here. Um, and it was especially good because they just got on a free scoring run and could want to make sure they showed that they're a dominant force here in Serie A. Benevento played well, but they still need some work. Inzaghi did say he would rather play attacking football and go with a fight, and he was okay with losing like this because they were willing to play Benevento rather than just sit back and defend. That's what he wants to see from his team. So I do really feel Inzaghi's Benevento does have what it takes to stay here in the top flight. They just unlucky here against Inter. Inter was just too strong for them. But I feel they can come away with other results later on in the season. Now the last rescheduled game was Lazio Atalanta, where the other Inzaghi brother lost at home. Huge victory here for Atalanta. The wing backs doing their job. Gosens and Hato were, continuing their scoring runs. And Atalanta are just a full attacking force here. They just don't know how to relent. They don't know how not to score. So this was a big win. And Inzaghi's Lazio just did not seem at all okay in that first half at all. I know they did lose Joaquin Correa right before the game started during the warm up, so that was a huge loss for them. He probably would have added another creative spark to them, but Lazio did not have even their enough depth to put on. They did not have players that they could bring on to help change the game. So hopefully we can see something because if Lazio, especially that Lazio also have Champions League too, they can't be playing the same 11 every game week in week out because those players will be exhausted. They will get injured, and it's not what Simone Inzaghi would want out of his team because then he's going to be down to the bare bones. So a lot of work to be done there, but Atalanta, like I said, continuing their free scoring run and just like to just grip into teams, continue to attack, and just continue to bang in the goals. So that was round one there. Lots of goals, lots and lots of goals for sure. So it's great that we expected a lot of that for sure. So let me know what your thoughts are on were in those games and what interesting results did you see? What players excited you the most? We're going to go into round two now. So we had four games on September 26th, which is the Saturday. We had Torino Atalanta at 9 a.m. and Torino losing again here at home to Atalanta. Man, again, 4 goals. They have now 8 goals in 2 games. So like I said, Atalanta just don't know how to turn off the scoring. They just perform admirably here. Torino will have to work on a few things if they hope to stay up, like I said, or even put up a fight because they don't want to be near that relegation zone. They are too good of a team to do that, but they need to push forward, maybe see what else they need in their team to hopefully keep them to stay up. We had 2 games at 12 o'clock. We had Cagliari, Lazio. Lazio taking away all 3 points here, managed to get their season up and running in good form. And then again, before losing out to Atlanta. But they at least got those 3 points. But they would hope to continue and maybe go on another unbeaten run like they did last year because they went in on a 21 game unbeaten run. So that would be something they would be hoping to repeat in this upcoming season. So, but like I said, they need that depth if they want to go forward, especially playing games week in and week out. So, not something um, they want to do regularly. Like they didn't lose that often before the whole COVID things happened. So, uh, they got very unlucky last year. The other 12 p.m. game was Sampdoria Benevento, where Sampdoria were up 2 goals to nil before Benevento came back and notched the victory, took away the victory. Even Ranieri gave kudos, saying Benevento deserved their win. They played a great, and this is what Inzaghi wanted to do. He wanted to come and show that his Benevento isn't the same one that we saw those previous years ago, where they went on a 16-game losing streak. They are here because they want to stay. So watch out, because I feel this team was going to stay. I know they got very unlucky against Inter, but if they pull victories here against teams like Sampdoria, like those mid-table sides, they're racking in for a victory. We had the 2:45 game, which was Inter Fiorentina, and this was one hell of a thriller here. Going level in at the break after Fiorentina scored early. Martinez scored late on in the half, but Fiorentina thought they had the victory, but Danilo D'Ambrosio. We'll put it this way: Hakimi and Sanchez were put on. Sanchez, all the difference maker, because they managed to score two late goals as Fiorentina were up 3-2. And then that's when Danilo D'Ambrosio scored the winner to seal all 3 points for the Nerazzurri. Viola were just heartbroken there, but Vlahovic did miss a chance late on to seal the game, but that didn't happen. It's also the first time that Fiorentina managed to score three or more goals against Inter and not win, so that's showing something. But Yakini can definitely take some positives from that defeat, but he will look to make those positives and have them continue on for the rest of the game. And again, good win here from Inter. They've now scored 9 goals in 2 games. That's impressive by them. And like I said, they have quality players now that Conte can use. So be sure to watch out, because Inter are definitely going to be a force here this year. Moving on to the Sunday now, 6:30, we had Spezia. Sassuolo Spezia opened up their home game with a defeat. Unfortunately, they did put up a good fight in the first half, as it was all level here, but Sassuolo just too strong to handle. Chicho Caputo actually scored 4 goals, but 3 of them being disallowed for offside. So the fourth one managed to count later on, but either way, he got his goal. He was happy. Sassuolo get the victory here, and that's all that was important to them. 9 a.m. only had one game, which was Verona Udinese. Verona pulling away with the victory thanks to Favilli, the substitute. Udinese, again, 2 games now they haven't scored, so they will look to improve on that going forward. Hopefully they can stay. I know Luca did say that he predicted Udinese to be relegated. It's kind of looking that way, but I feel they can still pick it up. Depends on their key players of DePaul and Lasagna. But they really have to step it up if they want to get anything going forward. Verona get another win. They remain undefeated, and well, I know they did technically draw their first game, but they're have 2 wins now from 2. Just a good way to start off their season, and they'll hope to push that momentum forward. 12 o'clock, 2 games. We'll start off with the Crotone Milan, which finished 2-0 for the Rossoneri. Frank Cassie getting a goal, and then Brahim Diaz getting a goal on his first start. Um, so that was a good way, but you can tell Milan, again, we're getting exhausted here. Rebic also going off with a huge injury. Looked like he sort of dislocated his elbow there or his shoulder or something, but it's nothing too serious. He'll be out like 1 or 2 weeks. Should be back in time for the derby. There's no fractures as well, so it's good to see that he's back, because Milan will hate to lose all these players. Again, Ibra is in quarantine. Romagnoli's still injured. Now Rebic is out. Not many players in Leao, who's still also coming back to full fitness, hasn't looked that sharp as well. So there is a lot on for Milan that they need these key players back, because it's not like, again, they do have Colombo and Daniel Maldini, but it's not like they can rely on those youngsters the whole way, who still need to get some first time experience as well. And then we're going to go into the absolute thriller that was at 12 o'clock. Napoli, Genoa finishing 6-0 here. It was incredible. Genoa was also missing Mattia Perin, who was out because he had tested positive for COVID-19. So he was in quarantine as well. And as much as Osimhen didn't score, he just helped creating goals and goals. He played well for his team. So for the people that saying Osimhen hasn't done anything, he doesn't have to be on the score sheet to do something for his team. He can create the plays. Okay, even if he doesn't assist, but like he is there to do stuff, to create movements, to create the play. he did help a lot in this victory, and just Napoli absolutely thrashed Genoa here. And after the game, Genoa had found out, well, some players were feeling it after the game, but they had 14 people test positive for COVID-19, 11 players and 3 staff. So that wasn't the great sign, and Napoli had to be checked right away, and all their results came out negative. So that was good for them, but not what they had wanted here. But Napoli, they look like a good team now under good. Not that they weren't a bad team, but they look an even better team with Gattuso by their side. So I would say watch out for Napoli as well, because they're coming to play this season as well. I know they're going to make that push for the Champions League this year, but maybe they could be the dark horse there for the Scudetto race. But they're still Atalanta to be wary of as well. We had the afternoon game, which was Roma Juve. Now Roma were up 2-1 at half, but Juve managed to tie it late from Ronaldo, who again just doesn't know how to not jump low for headers. We'll say he just knows how to just hang in the air for a person his age. Like, it's incredible that he can. A good 5-10 seconds, he was up in the air getting the header. It's incredible. But Roma did look the better team here. Fonseca also did make some tactical errors, I want to say, not knowing when to make changes, but not much I can say on that. But Juve did not look at all as they did in that first game, like especially against this is, in my opinion, Pirlo's real test here against playing an opposition that's a stronger caliber than someone like Sampdoria, but they just did not look the greatest out there at all. Juve will hope to look to improve, but they still looked a little shaky there, and they they still didn't click in a few times. Like, it just looked very disappointing. They actually kind of did play a little bit better in 10 men once Rabiot got sent off, but I just didn't see that same Juve everyone is predicting with, Kulusevski, Pirlo, McKennie. Like, no, I just didn't see it. So I don't know. But it's still early in the season. Some players are still trying to find their grooves here. Pirlo's still trying to find what works for his team. Let's see how well he does, right? Now, the last game to finish off round two was Bologna Parma. And Bologna, after losing their first game against Milan, they came back and to beat Parma 4-1 here. Parma lose again, not what they wanted. But Bologna just went out and just thrashed them. Like, that's all I can say. Parma, after losing Kulusevski, haven't looked that strong. So, uh, they really need to work on that. So, anyways, those were games for the round one and two, guys. Let me know what your thoughts with the first two games, what you guys thought, what you guys see from each of these teams, where you guys can expect them to go. Do we expect some of these teams to carry on their momentum, or will they eventually fade and die down? It's all to see, right? I'm not going to do standings just yet because with only 2 games in, it's hard to say, especially, right? Can't really get a gauge on where some of these teams are right now. So, well, but anything can happen. We remember like Cagliari last year, who went 14 games unbeaten and then just epically slid down the table after going winless in 14 games. So, not what they wanted, but some of these teams will look to keep up their momentum going forward as well. So, and some of the teams just want to bounce back. And with that, a lot of big games happening next week. So, here they are, guys. October 2nd, which is the Friday, 2:45, Fiorentina Sampdoria. Both teams, after losing their last game, want to get a victory here. I feel this is going to be a great game. Fiorentina do have the talent. They have looked good, again, with their signings of Bonaventura and Rabat. With Ribery in that midfield, Castrovilli as well, like, they're pretty solid there. So I feel they could just take this victory, but Ranieri will hope to get something out of his men after losing both their first two games. So getting something here is going to be important, but it's going to be a really tight affair. So I feel it could end in draw, but I feel Fiorentina will just take it away here. Moving on to the Saturday, 9 a.m., Sassuolo Crotone. I still feel Sassuolo here will have too much for Crotone to handle. Crotone for me are going to be one of the teams going down, but unless they can pick up some results here and showcase something why they came up, you know, they could pull a few surprises against the Swallow. But the Zerbi's men does have a great way of playing football, so I feel they're going to be too much for them. Now we were supposed to have also a 12 o'clock game, which is going to be Genoa Torino, but it was officially announced because of the positive testing from Genoa that they were missing a lot of players and staff. We're all because they have to go in quarantine. They decide to postpone this game to a later date, just hoping to accommodate Genoa because of this. So no midday game on the Saturday, so we move on to the 2:45, which is Udinese Roma. Udinese will hope to get something out of this, as they will hope to get their first goal of the season against Roma. The Giallorossi will hope to bounce back after just letting the lead slip away against Juventus, and technically want to go undefeated, but even though they're not, but what can we say? It's a very small technicality here, right? But Roma will look to improve. You know, they're still looking into the finer details in the mercato, so we'll see what they can do. And going forward, especially after this game, Fonseca will hope to do better against an Udinese side that still doesn't look that strong, but they may just have enough to give Roma some issues. October 4th, we have at 6:30 Atalanta Cagliari, early morning game, but I really feel Atalanta here is going to be too much for Cagliari to handle. Like I said before, Atalanta is just a free-flowing attacking team who just offer up a lot for their sides. And again, even their wingbacks score goals all the time. They push forward like they are forwards. Like Hateboer, I think, finished with 5, 6 goals. Gosens, 9, 10 goals for a defender. It's what? Like you just don't see that. You don't, but they're getting goals from everywhere. So expect goals coming thick and thin, thick and fast. I guess that's a phrase, whatever. But anyways, expect goals coming here. The Cagliari, I feel, are going to struggle. Now, 9 a.m. We have 3 games here. We have Benevento, Bologna. I feel this will be a good test because Inzaghi will definitely have a few things up his sleeve. Same with Mahavic. Two coaches looking to get the best out of his team. So I'm expecting a tight affair out of this one. We have Parma Verona here. This is going to be another tight encounter. Maybe, I don't know. I feel Verona could come away with this as they do look the stronger side with momentum as well. Because Parma haven't looked the best. They will hope to get something out of this. Even if it's not a win, they hope to get a draw. Just get something, even a point, to end a losing streak of 2 consecutive defeats. Now, the last 9 a.m. game is going to be a great thriller, in my opinion. It's Lazio Inter here. Inter have looked really great in the last 2 games, so they expect to continue that momentum. Like I said, Hakimi looking great, Lukaku looking great, Gagliardini actually had a good game as well. Sanchez, like they are looking good, so they may come up with trouble against Lazio. Lazio will hope to do better and improve on their match from their match against Atalanta's, where they played poorly as well, but they have to do better in their mercato. And I know Lotito doesn't like spending the money, but what do you expect? Like, you expect your team to do well, but don't want to buy them players, and you want to sell your players at the same time. Like, it doesn't make sense. So do something, help your team out. But Lazio will hope to get something, maybe something positive, but it will really be a great match to see. Make sure you don't miss it for sure. 12 p.m. we have Milan Spezia. Milan look to continue their momentum and their unbeaten run as well against newly promoted Spezia. So expect Milan to go and take this one, but you never know how it'll come about. They'll hope to. I don't know. It's gonna be some interesting lineup here. As again, no Rebic, no Ibra, maybe Liao, who's still not 100%. I don't know if he'll get the start. Maybe Colombo will. We may see new Norwegian signing Hauge. I don't know how to say his name, but maybe we'll see him either get a few minutes out there. We'll expect to maybe see some players rested as well because they do look fatigued and especially with the Europa League match. They definitely need some rest here. Now, to end off the match day is Juve Napoli at 2:45. Now, that's going to be a really great encounter as well. Napoli have looked dominant in their last two games, so expect them to go out against Juve. And now Pirlo too, another big chance for him to test his Juve side. He does have the players, but can he get the players to do well against the strong Napoli side? It'll be really tough to say considering they haven't played at all as they should be, but oof, I can't predict a winner here because it's just going to be a tough game here. So expect something really entertaining. But it's tough to say because last time it came around, it finished, I think it was 4-3, or maybe Napoli won. I don't remember, but maybe it was a 4-3. Feels like so long ago. But it's going to be a tight encounter here. So, anyways, round three is there, last round before the international break once again. So, let me know which games are you looking forward to. Again, some big games looking forward to that. Lazio, Inter, Juve, Napoli, like some great games, I feel. So, let me know which ones you guys are looking forward to. If you guys have any predictions as well, be sure to let us know. Comment down below. So now we're going to go into Europe. I just want to touch on quickly with Europa League because that is the shorter topic from the Champions League. We had Milan defeating Rio Ave in their last Europa League qualifier after beating Shamrock Rovers and Bodo Glimt. They did not play the best at their abilities here in Portugal. You know, they did take the lead through Salamakers, but then they get an equalizer later in the game. They had to go into overtime where Rio Ave scored 18 seconds into extra time, and it just seemed like they would take away the victory. But Milan managed to get a last minute 121st minute, fourth, whatever the time it took to take. I guess it was 120th, 121st by the time they actually took it. It was 124th. But anyways, they got a 121st minute penalty, which Çalhanoğlu scored. And like I said earlier, it went to an insane shootout, which lasted 24 rounds. Like, it was unbelievable. Each time you would think Milan scored, you think they would save it. No, Rio Ave would score. And then every time Milan would miss, you would think Rio Ave was going to win it. No, they missed too. Even it basically got to the point even where the goalies took it, and they both shot horrible penalties as well. But Donnarumma came up big, saved the penalty that needed to be saved, and helped Milan qualify into the Europa League. So now we have all three teams, Roma, Napoli, and Milan, into the Europa League. The draw will be tomorrow to see what groups they will be put into. I'm excited to see what type of each group, each teams will be put in, but it's hard to say how because anything can happen in the Europa League. So be sure to check it out. I'll try my best to update you guys as possible on who's in each group, but we'll see how that happens. But anyway, stay tuned to see who will get put in each group. So now into the Champions League. Each team got put into their groups here as the draw was today. Atalanta, Lazio, Inter, and Juve all got to find out their opponents they'll be facing here. And we're going to start off in the order of the groups. So the Group B, which is Inter, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Real Madrid, and Shakhtar Donetsk. Hakimi goes on to face his former side in Real Madrid. So great. I feel it's a tough group here for Inter. You know, Mönchengladbach are a good team. They did play well last year in the Europa League. Real Madrid are going to be a tough opposition as well. Shakhtar Donetsk can be a tricky side. They can cause some problems for certain teams, but I feel Inter will come away here. They will progress. I don't want to say first or second because I can't say anything can happen in the group, but I feel they will come away and progress through the knockout phases. But Real Madrid and Borussia Mönchengladbach will definitely be the tougher sides in this group. But I know Inter will most likely beat Mönchengladbach and maybe get something away from Madrid. But the way Conte's setting up his team, he's doing it I know he's doing it for the league, but he's also setting up that way he has enough depth for Champions League to put out some a chance for his players, to be well rested for the upcoming games. We have Group D, which is Atalanta, Ajax, Liverpool, and Michelin. So I feel this is a tough group as well for Atalanta. Ajax and Liverpool both have the Champions League experience. I feel Atalanta can definitely take Michelin. They don't have that. They do have a little more maybe European experience, maybe, probably not, but Atalanta can be a tough opposition as we see last year as they did. They lost their first 3 games but managed to come back and qualify to the next phase. I do feel they have what it takes. They did also beat Valencia last year as well. So they are a tough team. And I feel they could just finish out second in this group, maybe just going past Ajax. Liverpool will hope to get back, to the finals as they did a couple years ago and hope to do better and progress. But keep an eye. This is definitely going to be a full out attacking group. There's going to be goals galore because none of these teams will relent in their defense or in their scoring goals. We have Group F here, which is Lazio, Borussia Dortmund, Club Brugge, and Zenit. So I feel it's a bit of an easier group, maybe, but I feel it's going to be a decent test here for Lazio. Depending on how they do with their depth, I I feel Dortmund will top the group. It's tough to say because I don't know because I know Lazio could collapse sometimes in as we've seen in previous Europa League years where they haven't taken it too seriously, but and it's also because their squad was depleted, so it depends how their squad is. It's gonna be a tough battle between second and third, like especially with Zenit, who can even be a tough opposition as well. It's definitely a tough group for them. Maybe it seems easy, but I feel it could cause them some issues down the road, especially when you go into like match day 5, 6, when the important games that you need to win. Like if they don't get those, then it's definitely an issue. Now, last but not least, we have Group G: Juve, Barcelona, Dinamo Kiev, and Ferencvaros. I don't even know if I said that right. An Hungarian team, I believe, making their debut in the Champions League. Gonna be definitely an interesting game again. Another matchup between Juve and Barca, and for the first time too, Ronaldo and Messi go against each other in the group stages. When Ronaldo was even at Manchester or Sporting, I don't think Barca faced Sporting Lisbon ever, but with Manchester United, it was always in the knockout rounds, and of course with Real Madrid, they couldn't put 2 Spanish sides in the group stages. So, first time ever, we're going to see Ronaldo and Messi in the group stage, and I feel it's going to be a very interesting affair. Juve and Barca should top the group unless any surprises happen, but it should be theirs to lose pretty much. So, I feel that, again, the toughest one I feel is going to be Lazio, as much as it seems easy, but I don't I feel, I don't know why. It's maybe just because of their squad depth and how they've looked. But Atalanta, I feel, will finish second. Inter, again, should also progress. So, I feel for me, it's 3 out of the 4 teams for sure will pass to the knockout phases. Lazio's just, I don't know why. I want to say Lazio has what it takes, but I think again it's their lack of squad depth and like how I've seen them play. There's still a lot of work out, and Inzaghi really has to do something if he wants to hope to pass. Anyways, that's the Europa League action and Champions League talk for you guys. Hopefully, you enjoyed my rambling there about everything. Let me know if what you guys think about these groups. If you think I'm right that 3 of the 4 teams will pass, or 4 out of 4, or even less to the knockout rounds, be sure to comment below. Let me know. Let me know how you guys think the 3 teams in Europa League will do before the groups have even come out. Again, that those are Milan, Napoli, and Roma. Let me know what you guys think or how they'll do in the Europa League again before their groups have come out. What do you guys expect for round 3 of Calcio, and what do you guys think about the previous 2 rounds? It's great to have it back, and it's just we're seeing goals galore, and we're seeing a lot of teams score. We hope to see more of that forward. So anyways, don't forget to click the bell to receive notifications on all our latest videos. And if you haven't done so, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Calcio content, and also to get all the news updates, anything going on in Serie A or transfer news, Champions League, Europa League regarding any Serie A teams. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros, and we hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao.